stressful situations and is the most needed life skill. At the same time, it's the most lacking with people nowadays. Resilience, it's a familiar term, isn't it? But what exactly does it mean? When things go wrong, resilience is what allows you to survive and gain strength. It can sometimes make you stronger than you were before. Actually, most of the time, it's my personal experience. Resilience is a characteristic that allows us to emerge from hardship with an optimistic attitude. It is about dealing with the difficulties. However, people sometimes think about it incorrectly. They link resilience more to the outcome, like bouncing back or returning to normalcy like it was before the crisis, or just getting past the difficult time. That is not what resilience is all about. Whether you take action or not, resolve it or not, just by simply being there, time just heals everything. It makes us forget. It reduces the traumatic things that the crisis has done to us. But it doesn't mean that we are resilient. It just goes past by itself. But still, most people think it is bouncing back from pains and problems and unexpected stress caused in life. But it actually is the ability to move forward, not bouncing back. Moving forward. When we evolve through the difficult situation and evolve throughout the failures and begin to move on with it and find resourceful ways to get along without being broken down, then we are resilient. We don't necessarily have to win or achieve something. We don't have to be solid or cheerful either. Because like Winston Churchill once said, success is not final, failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. That is what resilience is all about. And when it comes to kids, as parents, we want to keep our children safe. That is our end of day goal, the most important thing. But we know that we can't protect them from every obstacle in life, now or even in the future. We can't keep protecting them, and that's not what parenting job is either. It is our responsibility to help and support them to build that skill, the resilience, to be able to deal with the situation by themselves, focusing on their self skills. Resilience focuses on building their internal strength rather than relying on some exterior protection like us. But as parents, we have responsibility to bring that skill in them. So we want our children to be able to deal with the stress and transition and to be able to recover from whatever the world throws at them. To put it simply, we want to raise our children resilient. We want them to be a resilient child. Identifying resilience indicators can sometimes be very difficult, especially when you are focusing on a particular thing like certain metric, like getting high grades or achieving something, a success, a trophy or something. But when you really focus on the results, that is not what resilient actually is. Children setting new goals for themselves or calling for help or assistance is a resilient act. Instead of sitting with a failure, they are just trying to come out of it and asking for help. That shows their confidence and motivation. And an important thing to note is that most people think about resilience solely as something that allows one to adapt to hardships. No. Instead, consider this as a method to recover from the hardships. The same qualities that cause someone to recover from adversity, it's the same qualities that will help someone to make the most out of life. We want our children to thrive by being their best self, developing positive relationships, making their unique contribution to our communities, on not just adapt and get used to whatever comes on their way. By adapting to the failures and just getting past it. Consider resilience to be the method of coming back, of rising beyond hardship, and to do that in the best possible way, the positive way, with lessons that will help you deal with the next hump in your life. We all know that resilience is an important quality for all of us to cultivate and for our kids to acquire. It's a must. We recognize the importance, and we know like it makes our children happy and less depressed with whatever or wherever they are, at home, at school, or later on in life. We all know that having a high level of resilience will always be beneficial. But how are we going to achieve it? The good news is that experts are learning that resilience isn't some unexplained inherited trait. It's not a you have got it or you don't have it kind of thing. Rather, it's something that is shaped and reinforced as a result of real life experience. Imagine a plane facing turbulence in mid-flight to demonstrate the idea of resilience here. Adversity is described by the instability or the bad weather that is causing the turbulence. Different planes react differently to the bad weather, just as different children react differently to the same hardship. The plane's ability to fly through that bad weather smoothly and arrive at its destination depends on few factors, which is the pilot, the child itself, the co-pilot, it is us, the parents, teachers, and other close relatives, whoever is involved closely with the child. The kind of plane. This is the individual features of the child, their own personality, their age, all those factors. And the tools that the pilots, co-pilots, and the ground crew have access to, the resources that help the kid to achieve something. And the extent and length of the bad weather, the adversity here, it depends on how long and how severe it is. We all have to work together to make the children more resilient. All these factors come in together in building that resilience and how the child is able to react or resolve or face the situation. Resilience is vital for many reasons. It allows our kids to build protective strategies against potentially overwhelming experiences. It lets them maintain equilibrium in their lives through challenging or stressful times. We can never stop stressful situation from happening, but we can definitely bring the qualities within us to face that situation. That is why resilience is important. It also acts as a shield to protect them from emergence of certain mental health problems and issues. It improves their learning and academic performance, and it improves their risk-taking behaviors drastically. And overall, it improves their health and fitness level as well. But why is it important to focus on teaching resilience right from the foundational age, that is the 0 to 6 years? Because we are all born with the ability to be resilient. However, resilient is not something we either have it or do not have it. We work on it for the rest of our lives. And it's best to begin at the earliest possible time. The most critical individuals to help develop a child's resilience are their parents. Children learn a lot from their parents and guardians. Young children who have stable attachment relationship and strong internal coping opportunities are more likely to have a good start in life with the human and social capital they need to succeed in school, society, everywhere, wherever they go, and all through their life. Such children are more likely to show maturity in the face of challenges. It is especially critical in early childhood for children to secure attachment bonds with caring parents. The encouragement and the nutrients needed for the safe brain growth, opportunities to learn and enjoy, the joy of learning new skills, and the limit setting or structure necessary to improve their self-control is all developed at that early age. And that's why teaching them resilience is very important at that age. And it's the best to begin. Resilient teenagers who have supportive experiences with people of their family benefit from better mental health. They are very less likely to be unhappy than other adolescents who lack resilience. According to studies, resilient teenagers are more likely than others to resist harmful activities such as aggression, substance abuse, and teen pregnancies. Resilient teens are also less prone to violence, perceived stress levels, resistance to social pressures, and consumption of alcohol and illegal drug use. And resilience has many health benefits in adults too. It has been linked to longer life, lower rates of depression, and higher level of satisfaction in life. There's a sense of control, as Malloy says, and it helps people feel more positive in general. To make it little easier to understand and develop the skill, let's look at a metaphor here, the Kinsugi. The Kinsugi, it's an art of resilience. It's an ancient Japanese art form which provides a rich metaphor for this concept of resilience. In Japanese, Kinsugi means to join with gold. It is a form of craft that involves putting together the broken parts of an individually crushed pot, and the pot's split fragments are glued together using a lacquer inflected with a very luxuriant gold powder. Rather than being wheeled, the apparent fractures are decorated with the gold. Now the value of the bowl has increased drastically because of the gold, especially that was added to the fractured parts. Symbolically, the golden cracks reflect the bowl's value because of the flaws. The bowl, like a human, has been shattered by the vagaries of life. There is a lesson to be learned from here, like in accepting mistakes and encounters that breaks our heart, how we can turn the cracks in our lives into gold. This relates back to our notion of fostering resilience in children, especially for younger students who are in the midst of most formative years of their life. It's the same like this Kinsugi principle. When life throws something at us, instead of just breaking down, if we try to face it with resilience, wherever the parts that were broken down, if we try to decorate it with precious things like gold and diamond, now that fractured part has become more stronger, even more stronger than ever. And that's what resilience is all about. Now, how can we develop this resilience in our children? I'm going to give you some important tips and strategies that you can follow to build resilience in our children. Number one, emotions. Teach them about emotions, label it, and let them identify and express their emotions in an appropriate ways. This is a very, very important aspect of building resilience. Working on their emotional intelligence is the key. Allow your children to communicate their fears by playing with them and motivating them to use art or imaginary games to communicate what they may not be able to express verbally. This applies more with little children. Dealing with disappointment or depression is never enjoyable, but telling the children that things aren't so horrible or they shouldn't be sad won't make any difference, and it's not going to make them stronger or help them cope with the situation. Instead, assist children in recognizing and discussing their own emotions and even the negative ones. Self-awareness is the essential component of resilience. That's what we are talking about here by building their emotions, making them aware of their own inner self. They will be able to cope up and deal with situations better. Number two, family time. This is very, very crucial because this is what is going to give them the comfort needed when they face crisis in the world. Consider family time to be a comfort blanket for your children. Envelop them in a family closeness and ensure they have plenty of family time. Dedicate more time to them through periods of tension and transitions, so that way they are able to cope up with the situations even better. When they feel connected and supported, they'll be more resilient. They'll be able to face the situation with more positivity. Number three, encourage good relationships. Resilience requires healthy relationships. Assist your children in practicing and improve their social skills so they can become Friends attract more friends with their classmates, school, everywhere. Number 4, encourage regular mindfulness practice. It's not just adults who need to get over mental stress, but kids also need to keep themselves calm and relaxed. Kids pass through many new things in their life. They learn a lot and they need to adjust to the new world during their growing age and learning period. They may feel exhausted when they cannot do what they want, making them aggressive towards their parents or family members or anyone. Meditation can help kids react to the inner signs of stress before their brains and bodies surrender to this rage. It is a mind work that takes them far away from bad feelings. It gives them calm, soothing, and well-planned guidance for every kind of stress. Meditation doesn't necessarily or doesn't actually solve the problem directly, but it lessens their anxiety and makes them feel relieved by pushing away the unwanted forces from their mind. Meditation helps them to gain self-awareness and confidence. The kids start to find the positive side of themselves, ignoring the negative things. They begin to focus more on their life goals and achievements rather than sitting and worrying about what bad has happened or what they have lost. They think and identify things that are within their control and not worry about the things that they cannot do anything about. The last one, make it a routine. Every day, make your kids work on one or more of those resilient boosting abilities. The longer they use them, the better they will be at coping with the pressures and they become resilient. But how do we do this at home? What sort of activities do we do at home to make it a practice? Just talk to your kids. Yes, just talk to them. When they ask you a question, answer it frankly and with reassurance, such as straightforwardness. Give them straightforward comments that let them know that you are taking steps to keep them safe and are there to take care of them. When they express their thoughts or worries to you, listen to them carefully and assure them that you are there for them. When there is a disturbing situation in the house, restrict the amount of TV the children see or listen to, the radios or anything, because there is a very high chance that they will misunderstand things when they see or hear something relating to the incident. Even if it's a good one, they might completely take it in the wrong sense. So limiting those sources will give you a better chance to help them cope up with the situation. You don't have to hide anything, like hide what's going on in the world from your kids by turning off the news, but they still don't have to be subjected to endless news that feeds their suspicious mind. Check back on them and see how they comprehend what they have been exposed to. That is the more important thing. Just talk to your kids and follow all these strategies that will help you with building resilience in children. Life doesn't get easier or more forgiving. We just get stronger and become more resilient. Let's raise resilient kids.